Tonight, News 3 Investigates is getting a closer look at an officer-involved shooting in Newport News from December of 2019. Earlier this month, former Newport News Police Sergeant Alvin Pearson was convicted of voluntary manslaughter for the killing of Henry Berry in his own home. Family members say Berry was having a mental breakdown and called police for help before the incident took place. News 3 investigator Zak Dahlheimer breaks down hours of body cam footage and 911 calls we got showing Berry's interaction with officers and what took place that night in real time. And we do want to warn you, the video is graphic and could be uncomfortable for some to watch.
The officers are there, is that correct?
Yes, they're outside. They're here right now.
You're listening to Henry Berry on the phone with Fairfax County Fire and Police.
I've got you on the recorded line right now.
While looking through body cams of Newport News police officers.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you Mr. Berry?
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Berry.
Responding to his house the night of December 27th, 2019.
Sure. You want to come out and
No,
show
I'd
me what's
rather
going on?
stand right here.
Well, Mr. Berry, you need to come out and talk to us at this point. You need to hang up the phone from 911.
I do not want to come outside.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're trying to kill me! Kill me! God help me!
This was moments before Berry was shot by police. Let's show you what led up to this point.
Newport News 911, where's your emergency?
Berry calls 911 asking to file a missing persons report for his son.
If they're already out on the road, could you have a police officer come to my house?
Berry makes several other calls to 911.
I need an emergency call to Fairfax County as soon as possible.
Sir, you're in Newport News dialing 911.
He reaches out to Fairfax County first responders asking for a welfare check on his son. He said he saw his son with a black eye on a FaceTime call and had a recording of it. Sergeant Pearson and another Newport News officer met Berry at his house that day and watched his video.
He's got his eye from roughhousing with his brothers, so that's not a criminal offense.
Officers also confirmed with Berry he spoke with his son a week prior. An officer tells Berry his son wasn't missing and was more than likely with his mom.
Understand this, you cannot call police to report your son missing when he is not missing. Because what you've just done is you've falsely summoned law enforcement.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
If your son is with his mother, okay, which everything indicates that he is,
Okay,
all right, he is not missing.
okay.
So I understand that you're having some issues and some things that you're going through right now, okay, especially from the last time we had dealings with you. You have to be very careful about calling police to try to report things that are not actual crimes. Does that make sense to you? I'm not trying to belittle you in any way.
Where's my son?
Your son is with a family member. That's something that you have to call his mom and talk to his mom about.
Later, Berry again calls Fairfax County first responders as officers head back to his house.
I've already shown this video to the officers one time, and they said they didn't see it. Now, something's not right. I want to be on a recorded line for this. Please help me. Please help me, man.
Minutes later,
Well, Mr. Berry, you need to come out and talk to us at this point. You need to hang up the phone from 911.
I do not want to come outside.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're trying to kill me! Kill me! God help me! God help me!
Mr. Berry, you're under
Mr. Berry, stop resisting, sir.
For what?
officers tell Berry to stop resisting and to put his hands behind his back.
You listen to Officer Alexander, and you're not going to get tased, all right?
I understand that you're upset. I understand that some things are going on, but right now you're under arrest and you need to put your hands behind your back, okay? Give me your left hand, okay? Mr. Berry.
Taser report.
Berry and the officers struggle over the taser.
Cut it off! Cut it off! Ah!
Berry is then shot by Pearson in the back.
Is everybody okay? Officer involved shooting. Need a medic en route.
Officers perform CPR on Berry, but he dies in his home.
I would give anything to be able to turn the clock back, to go back the day before and things be different.
Newport News Police Chief Steve Drew talked with News 3 after Pearson was later convicted of voluntary manslaughter.
The whole situation is tragic. We are continually going over our policies and procedures, and I don't want to wait till something tragic happens. How do we interact better with those calls for mental illness?
Now, we also talked with WTKR law enforcement analyst, former Norfolk Police Chief Larry Boone, about how officers are trained to respond to mental health situations. You can find what he had to say in my story on WTKR.com. As for Pearson, he's expected to be sentenced in December. Zak Dahlheimer, News 3.
They are heroes on the front lines, keeping us safe in some of the most dangerous conditions. But local firefighters are not just trying to keep us safe. They're also looking out for each other, for the risks they're exposed to on the job, specifically cancer. Firefighters are at a greater risk of being diagnosed and dying from cancer compared to others here in the U.S. News 3 investigative reporter Zak Dahlheimer this morning breaking down the numbers in this trend and what one local fire department is doing to protect our heroes now and in the future.
Deborah Gaudette spent 26 years living out her passion as a Virginia Beach firefighter.
You know, we became a huge family.
But in 2011, she got word that she was living with something else, breast cancer.
It was terrifying, not something I was expecting at all. So it was like, oh, no, not me. And turned out it was me.
She found out from her doctor her diagnosis stemmed from her time on the front lines. The update gave her relief and eventually made the decision to share her story, determined to help others in uniform.
I want these guys to know what this is like. And I don't want them to have to go through it too.
News 3 investigators also went digging, looking for answers on cancers linked to firefighters. According to the Firefighter Cancer Support Network, a nonprofit providing help and mentoring to firefighters and their families, cancer is the most dangerous threat to firefighter health and safety today. Firefighters have a 9% higher risk of being diagnosed and 14% higher risk of dying from cancer when compared with the general U.S. population. Also, the group cites research from the National Institute for Occupational Health and Safety showing firefighters are at 1.5 times greater risk of getting multiple myeloma and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and at least 2 times greater risk of getting mesothelioma and testicular cancer.
We really have no idea what is burning inside that building.
We asked questions to members of Virginia Beach Fire and Kevin Ferrara, a current volunteer firefighter and retired Air Force firefighter, having served at Langley Air Force Base.
It's the byproducts of combustion. It's the diesel soot. It's the dirty gear.
If you had dirty gear, if you had a melted fire shield, that showed you were courageous. And that mentality, fortunately, we're getting that out of the fire service today.
Ferrara points to items that could be in structures when crews respond to calls.
You look through your house, you have various fabrics, your stain-resistant carpeting, your furniture, even some of your clothing contains these carcinogens, and as they are consumed by fire, they off-gas, they produce soot, they produce ash, and those products of combustion are absorbed onto the turnout gear through the firefighter's skin.
Virginia law also lists 10 different cancers presumed to be occupational diseases linked to firefighters.
They know that we are exposed to carcinogens enough that chances are pretty good that we may suffer from one of what they call the presumptive cancers.
Our retirees are the group that I really worry about right now. Is our recent retirees who fought fires 20 years ago. They didn't have the same turnout gear. They wore the dirty gear.
Virginia Beach fire officials say their department has been making investments to protect members, including providing firefighters a second set of gear and wipes to clean their skin after a fire. And it's not just about the gear they wear. Virginia Beach firefighters are also in the process of putting in a strategy called Clean Cab technology. This will include replacing seats like this in all their trucks with ones that are easily removable and can be cleaned after responding to a call.
I think one of the biggest things is a culture change we've had here in the department that I've seen being clean, changing your gear, cleaning yourself while you're still at the fire.
Everything we can to try and save a life is we're trying to do it.
As for Gaudette, she's been cancer-free since 2014. She hopes to see her department carry out strategies to protect those who protect us.
Our department's research and tenacity in finding out how to do a better job of reducing cancer in our department, that's for the future generations.
Experts recommend if you're a firefighter, whether active or retired, to always be proactive about your health. Maintain relationships with your doctors, especially a dermatologist. And for active firefighters, always make it a point to shower and wash your personal items after every fire. Zak Dahlheimer, News 3.